Having thousands of Claude Code skills doesn't actually make your outputs any better, and it could even make them worse. So in this video, I'm going to run us through exactly what skills are, why most people set them up wrong, and a nice simple framework to build them correctly, easily, and properly. So first, what is a skill? Well, essentially it's a folder that contains an instruction on how to complete a specific process or get a specific output, and we can add extra elements to help achieve that. If we come across to exactly what the anatomy, i.e. how the skill is actually sort of constructed, we're able to see a couple of key parts. We're going to have the skill.md file, which is what Claude's going to use to execute all of this information. All of them will be named skill.md, but the way that Claude tells the different skills apart is through the YAML formatter. What this contains is the name of that skill and the description of that skill. And a key thing to know with this is the name is a maximum of 64 characters long, and the description is only 1024 characters long. So they're not that long of an information for Claude to get the output. So we need to make sure it's really targeted for what this skill is, when it should be used, and the output we're trying to achieve. But there's also two key things to be aware of that description and why it's important to get it right. First of all, any descriptions longer than 250 characters, although they can be up to about 1024 characters long, will get shortened down so they don't take up too much context. So you want to front load it with that first 250 characters to make sure Claude actually sees it. Because yes, Claude will see every skill, but it's only got a limit of 8,000 characters to be able to record the descriptions as it goes through. So you've got around 30 skills that it's going to be able to load up with some of that description in there before it starts cutting off more and more of that original description for the skill to see other ones. That's why we want to have that really targeted skills that we're developing versus having lots of very similar and generic ones. After this, we've then got all of the information or the instructions as they're known as. This is telling Claude what it needs to do step by step to achieve the output or the goal that you're trying to do. This could be an entire process that you want it to complete, or it's just one specific maybe PDF document that you want it to produce after doing lots of analysis. What we can also do as well is bundle extra resources to support it. So that could be perhaps Python scripts to execute code or calculations. It could be adding in different reference documents, such as having a brand voice identity marketing material. It could be some market research, anything else. And then last but not least, we're able to also add any assets as well. This could be any templates, it could be logos, icons, fonts that you want to use to help get the consistent outputs with this skill. And understanding this anatomy is really important because it shows why having a few really good skills tailored to your outputs is better than having thousands for Claude to comb through. What it does is it loads these skills in 3 steps. The first one is we're going to be loading in that YAML front formatter. So that's the name and description of that specific skill. So we need to make sure that they're incredibly targeted names and descriptions for how Claude should use it, when it should use it, and the output you're trying to achieve. Because if you've got lots of different skills that all sound the same, then it's going to start loading in lots of different ones, and it may not even be the one that you wanted it to use. So that's why you don't need thousands of skills. We want to actually generate some really good specific skills for us to then get the outputs we actually want. The second part that it will load in is then all of the skill.md information. So that is the entire process or standard operating procedure, i.e. the markdown instructions that we've actually listed for Claude to complete. And I'll show you an example in a minute what this actually looks like. And then last but not least, it will load in any of those reference files that we actually need to achieve the output. So again, that could be that Python script, it could be any brand voice information, any extra markdown documents that you wanted to use, any logos you wanted to use, any color schemes that you wanted to use, all of that is the reference files. So that's why we need to make sure that we're making it as easy for Claude to see that instruction we want to use, then actually execute all of the steps within that process, and also use any of the reference materials to help get that best output consistently. And that's where having some hyper-targeted great skills can be incredibly useful, because it goes from having poor trigger descriptions in that YAML format at the start to have a low activation rate because they're all sounding exactly the same for the different skills, to then instead have very highly targeted skills with the optimized triggers, which Claude can help you with as part of the updated skill 2 evaluation feature to make sure it's actually using that correct skill more often and activate it exactly when you need it, so it doesn't take you by surprise for the output you're looking to achieve. And that's why it's worth, instead of having thousands and thousands of different generic skills, we actually look to generate our own and the best versions possible to help get that focused, targeted output, because no one knows your business or your client's business better than you. So you can help tailor and adjust those skills to get the outputs that you actually want. Now, if you're serious about AI, come join us in the AI Edge on School. It's completely free to get started. Hundreds of members all over the world. There's a full masterclass section, templates you can grab and use straight away, and live weekly calls where you can ask me anything. No fluff, no algorithms, no ads. Link and QR code are on screen now, or just simply check the description and you'll see it there. So when you're building your own, think of it as like an iceberg. The main focus is getting that skill.md triggered, the actual markdown instructions, the actual description of that specific skill and the name of the skill, really optimized for that performance, because then it will help with that reference files being used in the future. But that's where we can really get those consistent outputs with the reference files, because it's got much more information to basically use to help achieve the output that you're actually looking for. So the deeper the base, the more information that you provide, the better the output you're going to get. Now, to generate your very own skills, there's two different ways that we can approach it. The first one is we can build it from scratch, which I'll show you in a second, or we can come through and get inspiration or the base element from community skills. We can go to a repository like Anthropic's official skill repository that they have on GitHub, or we can come across to community platforms like skill.md, which has lots of different ones for us to be able to choose from, or another one is actually Skills Hub. Again, all of them have their pros and cons for what they're using, the people contribute to them, and the skills that are actually there. One thing that I do recommend doing is, if you are looking at actually downloading or using any of the community skills, before you even touch them or get Claude to analyze them, run them through tools like VirusTotal. It's completely free to use, but what it will enable you to do is identify if there's any malicious or bad code or bad elements within it that could be asking you to share data. It could be phishing attempts. So definitely, if you're using anything on the community, run it through tools like VirusTotal. Just check them out, see if there's any issues with that potential file before you go to use it. But why do we look to the community for some of their skills? Well, that's because there's tons and tons of different ones out there that we're able to then get maybe inspiration from or use within our own platform straight away. For example, here we've got a brand voice one. All we're able to see in here is the reference files. So we can drop down, see there's a voice profile schema, which we're able to add all of our specific business voice information into them. Or we've got the skill.md as well. You'll see in here all of the different information, when to activate it, the source priority, how to connect it to a workflow, and much more. This is telling Claude exactly how to get the outputs. And if we want to install it locally, we're able to come through, copy this command here, which will install all of the different skills. If we want one specific one, then we'll copy this, come across to a cursor, Claude Code instance, whatever it may be, and paste in there. Now, one thing to note, we need to make a couple of changes for this. Otherwise, as mentioned, it's going to store all of the skills. So first we want to do dash and then skill, and then we want to do brand dash voice. So it's only going to install that specific skill. We then want to do dash and then local to install it locally on our machine. And sometimes if it's never seen this repository before, it will ask your permission to install it. So to bypass that, we're just going to do dash and then yes, and then we can just send it off. So this should now go through. We've automatically given the approval for that one specific skill to be installed. So now it actually enabled it to run it once it's downloaded, as you can see here, for us to use straight away. So it says it's all done. So we're just going to do / and then exit to close out. We'll just start it up with Claude again. And then we should be able to do / and then we do brand voice. And there you go. As you can see, we've got that skill ready to go for us to be able to use. And if we wanted to, we could see the specific file, which if we come across the left-hand side, we come down to skills in VS Code, we come into skills, into brand voice, we can now see that markdown file with, of course, that name and the description for the YAML formatter. So we can optimize that in the future if we find it's not being used correctly, and we can update any of the reference folders as well. So as you can see here, anything that we wanted to add or change about this specific one, we can now do nice and easily. And once you change it in there, again, just make sure that you tell it, please store everything globally so we can access it across all of the different Claude Code instances for us to be able to use. So now we can take the best of some of the community skills and incorporate it into our very own skills. And if you just want to generate your very own skill from scratch, all you need to do is come through and do / and then skill creator, do tab, load it in, and it will walk you through the process with Claude to actually get your very own skill set up, explaining what you want, the outputs, how you want to achieve it, and it will give you the markdown document. And if you want to take it a step further and you want to get even better skills generated, then I recommend coming across to this repository, which is the same person that generated a very popular repo, which is GSD, for using it with Claude Code. And what this will do is it will explain the best practice to Claude for how to get those outputs. So how do you really get a skill that works every single time? Well, it's actually a nice simple 5-step process to achieve it. First of all, we want a really simple, clear name, what it is, the output we're going to get. Then that trigger. What is the description going to be in that first 250 characters? What can we get in that as much as possible to help Claude trigger that right skill at the first time? And again, if you've got skills that have similar objectives, see if you can combine them together or really explain to Claude why they should use one over another to achieve an output. Then we want to go super in depth for that specific process. Again, Claude doesn't know anything about you, your business, how you work, how you operate, or what good looks like unless you tell it. So you want to give it as much information within that standard operating procedure framework, the literal step-by-step instructions to help it get the output. And then if you really want to optimize the outputs being consistent, of great quality, that's where we want to start building out those reference files, because it will help Claude see what good looks like, give that consistent logo, color scheme, whatever it may be for the output, how we can execute maybe Python scripts to generate images, and all these different parts to get an output. And then don't just set it and forget it. Test, iterate, and refine. Work with Claude, say, what am I missing? Why didn't you use this skill if it does trigger it incorrectly, to help it go through and really get that best skill being used first time. Don't think this is going to be a simple, quick process. The value really comes from getting that initial version set up, but really fine-tuning it to you and your business and getting the output you're actually happy with. And if you're building this for yourself, your own business, or potentially for a client and their business, this is where it gets really interesting, because now you can build one really, really optimized skill that you have great performance with, or you see that other individuals in the market are having great performance with, and then you can just take this as a base, tweak and adjust it to lots of different companies to help them achieve the same outputs. So lots of different ways that you can use it to get the outputs. You would use, for example, the community maybe for some inspiration, and you could use it as the base, but the real power comes from you going through, fine-tuning and adjusting those specific skills for your use case, but also enables an exponential increase in abilities in the future, because you could share it between teams, refine it, or for that end customer to use as well. That's all for this video. Make sure to stay tuned for more about AI and automation, and have a great day.